Hello, Gwen. Good morning.
Good evening. It's
For
amazing
me,
to say good morning and good evening at the same time.
yes, for me, it's evening. For you, it's morning. Very hot in France these days. Very, not very, but cold in New Zealand. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our little program. Today, my guest is GWENAEL VEREZ, which we met about 9 months ago. And I just remember you that he's a very old in Sahaja. He's not an old Sahaja, it's old in Sahaja Yoga. From 80s, 1983, if I remember well, Gwen. So we have Yes, we have few programs last year, basically around his life and beginning in Sahaja Yoga and his input in starting and sustaining Sahaja Yoga in Romania. So from that perspective, we more or less talk about this subject. But my one of my very important reason for I was talking with Gwen even more than these biographical meetings was the fact that Gwenel is a very well-known writer. So he writes extensively about spirituality. His first book, which was one of my first book, I read it in Sahaja Yoga, um, or Spirituality and Sahaja Yoga, and is very, very well linked with our program, which is called Intersection in Sahaja Yoga. So this is a very well example of intersection in Sahaja Yoga, speaking about the mother, la mere, la spirituality. So in English is the search for the divine mother, which, if I remember well, is his first book. Anyway, for me, it was the first one. I read it and I was really, really happy that I had that lecture. Another one is Amritanubhava, the well-known translation of um, Janeshvara. And finally, the Jihad of the Soul, which I really want to talk with you about that, Hazrat Ali, which we all know that he's a realized soul. But today, we will talk about another book. We will talk about a book which is very soon to be out, is The Illumination of the Spirit. So if I understand well, will be soon out, available for you to buy it in September, if I'm right.
Exactly,
Okay,
exactly.
so this is the book which is the last compilation. So it's not. Let's make it clear. So this is a compilation by Gwen from um, his lectures. You will correct me if I'm wrong somewhere, please, Gwen. From his spiritual lectures, from I count maybe a dozen of uh, I I cannot call them writers, uh, of saints. Some of them mythical, some of them historical. So this book is a translation from the first edition by Gwen in French. So I don't know. I don't want my introduction to be longer than your what you have to say. So please, Gwen, if you wanted, present your book a little bit.
It's a book that is focusing on the writings of many saints in India, mentioned by Srimadaji. These saints were all incarnations of the disciple principle. That is this principle that shows that human beings can reach spiritual enlightenment and, let's say, liberation, moksha. Srimadaji mentioned several incarnations of this disciple principle, which is well known first as the Buddha and sorry I am I have the other one on the left side. I'm sorry, Buddha was on the right side, and the other one on the left side was
Mahavira.
Mahavira, exactly. So Srimadaji mentioned that the disciple principle incarnated many times through poets that were giving us literature that could elevate our quest, maybe trigger our quest for spiritual enlightenment, for spiritual growth. And Srimadaji mentioned that they incarnated many times.
I share something. I'm not sure if you can see it. I share the quote from Srimataji from the beginning of the book. She was talking about the disciple principle and name some of them.
Exactly. On this quote, which is in the book, Srimadaji mentions some of them, and I have tried to gather all in that book all the writings of this Indian saint. I have really focused on the disciple principle in India.
Yep.
You know, India being the yoga bhumi, these writings are very deep, and they are, let's say, heralding the advent of Sahaja. They are surprisingly very much Sahaj. And I felt that it could be useful to gather many of these writings in a book. The idea came because while I was doing Sahaj programs, I used to quote, for example, Shankara, Kabir, Markandeya, and so on. And I used to send many texts through email and so on. And I said, why not gather these incredible writings in a book? Meanwhile, as Srimadaji mentioned these writings many times in her talks, I've thought also that it would be enriching to have these incredible texts that Srimadaji mentioned gathered in one book. For example, Srimadaji mentioned several times about Ramdas. Ramdas speaking of the Guru. Srimadaji mentioned several times that Christ was mentioned in the Shastras, in the scriptures of India, as Mahavishnu, and the text is there. Srimadaji mentioned also that to really have a perception of the glory of the Adishakti, that we should read the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam, and I have gathered the texts that refer to that. So I think that these texts, these writings, are very much enriching. They help us in our meditation, and they help us in our daily life, because each time you open that book, the beauty, the poetry, the incredible symbolism of these writings is very much elevating. Um, I would, among all these writings, I would I would specify two texts that are, according to me, uh, incredible. The first one is the description of the ascent of the Kundalini by Jnaneshvara. Most of Sahaja yogis know that Jnaneshvara was the incarnation of Kartikeya, but Srimatanji also mentioned that Jnaneshvara was the incarnation of the disciple principle.
Yep.
And I think that that's my belief, the most important text in Indian spirituality is the description of the ascent of the Kundalini described by Jnaneshvara. And I made a translation of that text being helped by yogis that understand Marathi and yogis that also know translation of the old Marathi, because Jnaneshvara wrote in old Marathi, in medieval Marathi, which is slightly different from the Marathi of today. So I could use them to make a translation that is significantly different from the translations that are available on the market of Jnaneshvari. And I think that going deep into the translation of this text by Jnaneshvara, you really see how much it is incredibly Sahaj, incredibly Sahaj. It's really so Sahaj, and it is in the meantime so beautiful. So this is one of the texts which I consider as the most important, and another text which I feel is very enlightening is a text which I have called, it is at the end of the book, it is called The Primordial Illusion and the Five Elements. And this text is, you see it's The Primordial Illusion and the Five Elements by Samarth Ramdas. This text is very, it gives us a lot of knowledge about let's say the creation and the five elements. And it tells us why we feel the Adi Shakti, the primordial energy, why do we feel her through the cool breeze? And I think it's amazing that Ramdas explains that, because I think he's the first to ever explain why we feel it through the cool breeze. And I don't want to tell, because it's I will leave it to the people to discover it. But I think it's very, very nice. It's amazing, and it's all the more amazing because Ramdas was, as most of you know, the incarnation of Sri Hanuman, and Sri Hanuman being the son of Vayu, Vayu being the air element, the wind. And it's amazing that Sri Ramdas is explaining us why we feel the Adi Shakti through the cool breeze in our hands.
That is
So
linked.
these are the
That
texts which I consider as these are two texts that I consider as the most incredible, because they somehow they bring us also some knowledge that maybe Srimataji did not tell us, as far as I know. And meanwhile, I think it's this book gathers something like 100 texts, and so all of them are so beautiful and so enriching. I think all of them are really pearls in the world literature.
That was very smart because it was linked with another chapter. Actually, the chapter are you talking about the primordial illusion and the man? It's coming after the previous chapter by a quote from Ramdas as well. The primordial illusion and the five elements, which also is very important because put very much accent exactly when what you're talking about on the element of air, which is the only one who moved. And the it's very important chapter, that one, because as well give you another clue about how the things are happenings in the next chapter. So yes, it's
I think it's mind blowing. For me, it was
yes,
mind blowing.
yeah.
For you too? For you too,
Yes,
Daniel?
yes, I make a note about that, about the wind. So was again something for me extraordinary. So your book have 9 chapters. Um, any any reason for doing that, or was just an accident? Because initially when I look at the content, I was thinking, and because starting with the spirit, um, I was thinking that will follow a little bit of the path of the subtle system. It's not exactly that path, but have links with the way how you um, um, organize the book.
Um, uh, Daniel, it's a mixture of rationalism and
Yeah.
spontaneity.
Yeah.
It's a mixture of an intuition. I started the book by I started the book with several texts on the spirit.
Hmm.
The spirit being the goal, let us say, um, and and these 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 writings are amazing because they all speak of the spirit. And if I had to write something on the spirit, I must be very frank. It would be very difficult for me because the spirit is total abstraction. So it would be very difficult for me to write about the spirit. Um, and it's amazing that all these writers um, speak of the spirit in a different way, uh, and they're all very different, and they're all the same because the spirit is one and unique, and it's amazing. And and as a seeker, um, uh, as seekers, our goal is to reach enlightenment. That means to be the spirit. That's why I put it first. The point is, what we didn't know before Shemataji's advent is that we can only reach the spirit through the the um, awakening of the Kundalini. That means the feminine part of the divinity. Um, so the second chapter of the book is about what hinders our spiritual evolution, and all the things that um, hinders, again, sorry for repeating it, our spiritual evolution. And I have called that the ocean of illusion. And there are lots of texts by Ramdas, Jnaneshvara, Kabir, and so on. Some of them are very serious, very deep. Some others are very amazing and fun. For example, Samarth Ramdas made a full list of what he called idiots. Uh, and I don't see, it is called, I have given a title, The Catalogue of Idiots.
Yes.
It's an amazing list of
Yep.
of what it means to be an idiot. And Ramdas say these are all kinds of idiots, and be sure that some of the idiocies that are mentioned in this book are probably also within you. So it's really amazing. And so this is the second chapter. It follows with a chapter on the Devi, on the Adi Shakti, in praise of the great goddess, with amazing writings from the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam, and also Adi Shankaracharya and so on. And then it follows with a Kundalini, because we can only reach a goddess through the awakening of the residual energy within us, that is the reflection of the Adi Shakti within us, that is a Kundalini. And I have gathered here a lot of lots of poems about the Kundalini. Some are metaphors. It doesn't. They do not mention the Kundalini, but you really see the Kundalini. And then I go to the principle of the Guru.
Which
because
is
once we have read the
linked with the
Kundalini,
ocean of illusion as well. So yeah.
To be a guru, to sustain our
growth,
our self-realization, we have to reach the status of the guru. That's what Sri Mataji asked us to be. And I have given here several texts. Two of them have been precisely mentioned by Sri Mataji in her talk. One of them by Ramdas, and another one by Kabir. They have been specifically mentioned by Sri Mataji in her talks. And finally, what does it mean to be in meditation? Several texts on the state of meditation, ending with what I consider as one of the most beautiful poetic representation of what meditation is, what devotion is. A text about the puja by Jnaneshvara. Jnaneshvara, you will discover that text taken from the Jnaneshvari.
Yep.
It's an incredible inner representation of the puja as a totally inner devotion, total Ananya Bhakti. That the puja basically is fundamentally a deep meditation of devotion, and of, let's say, formless devotion for the master. And I think it's very, very enlightening, even more today when Sri Mataji has become Nirakara again. I don't know what you felt about this text, Daniel, about if you remember this text about the puja by Jnaneshvara.
No, to be honest. What I want to say now is for our viewers as well. Dear people, Gwen was very, very nice to send me the book. And I was so keen to read the book, not because we will meet today. I don't want to do my homework, but because it was so deep, the book, and I read it straight away in few installments. Don't do that. The book have to be chew slowly. The book is a chest of gems collected by GWENAEL, obviously, from his lecture. I count about 20 books. He collect those lectures, those quotes. So have to be again digest it, read it slow. Don't do it like myself, because now I'm not able to remember. Look, I'm very embarrassed. I read the book but I don't remember the question about uh, the teacher caught me. So what I remember, apart from the part with the very much importance of the air element, is something very interesting about. We will come back to the puja, I promise, to the quote of the puja, Gwenel.
No,
Uh,
no, no. I mean, it was just. I can understand that you do not remember everything, because myself I also forget sometimes
yes,
some of these texts, because they are so rich and so deep, and so if you want, I can continue with
sure,
describing the chapters.
please,
Uh,
please.
the seventh chapter is about the deities. So these are devotional texts about the deities, and you have here several texts by Shankaracharya, Ramdas, and an amazing text by Vyasa about Mahavishnu, which Mataji mentioned several times in her talk. And what is also necessary to say is that I have added in this book some footnotes uh,
Yeah,
to explain some terms, and also to mention when Srimataji mentioned something about I really, and this text, which is about Mahavishnu, Srimataji commented on that text, so I gave some of the comments that Srimataji gave. And the book ends with what it means to be a realized soul, uh, with wonderful text, and then by description of the divinity of God, uh, and the book ends with a text which I consider as phenomenon
yeah,
by Srimad. It's a text which was in the it's a text that was included in the first book,
book of
Srimataji's
Adishakti.
first book,
Yeah,
The Creation.
yeah.
It is, but unfortunately, this text was not included in the book of Adi Shakti. And
I want to make because otherwise I forget. Promise I will come back to your idea. Um those corrections and everything you find it. I know I'm talking about the people who are watching us. If you want to know more and about the things which wasn't included, you have to go on this website where Gwen and, if I remember well, John Noyce gather everything which they believe should be on the book as well, because that was an an edition which I'm not sure if it's complete.
no, there are several things in the book of Adi Shakti that are not complete,
Yep.
and are not provided in the book for reasons that are very unknown to me. I have asked the people who did that book. I've asked them why, and I didn't get any real answer, or let's say reasonable answer. So this is one of the texts, and this text is, let's say, the epitome of the book, because it shows uh, um, it shows the let's say the dimensions of God which we as human beings cannot reach, being eternity, infinity, and supremacy, and I think it's a very important text. Srimataji mentions that also in one of our talk. She mentioned the three auras of God and the three dimensions of God that are unreachable to we human beings, and I think it was necessary for yogis for humanity to have that text available, and that's why I included it here. And I think it's the greatest conclusion that I could ever bring to this anthology. The conclusion by the Adi Shakti
Yes, and
herself.
I advise everybody to go on that website, which is here, and they will have the surprise to find a lot of other things, which, like you said, for unknown reason, were more or less escamotated. Um, so
And I would even add that in the book of Adi Shakti there are several mistakes.
yeah,
Uh, there are several mistakes, unfortunately. I can say that there are two major mistakes in the book. One of them is that Sri Mataji speaks when she explains that the Adi Shakti separates from the from let's say Parabrahma, from Sadashiva, when there is a separation. Sri Mataji was drawing a picture, and when
yeah,
she draws a picture,
yeah.
she draws an ellipse.
Ellipse and
But when
parabol.
she
Yeah, that's I remember that it's a big one. Yep.
but when she speaks,
Yep.
she mentions a parable, because the
Yes.
parabola is on a three dimension, and she always mentioned parabola, and they did not understand that, and they changed the
Yep.
word parabola in that book into ellipse, which is wrong, which is basically
Yes.
wrong. I do not
Because it's
know why
an
they
ellipse,
could.
it's a finite object.
Yeah, and basically the ellipse, when you take the intersection of a plan of a plane
Yep.
with the parabola, you have an ellipse.
I
Um,
dare to explain to the people who probably, I don't know. I'm starting to believe that not all the people knows the difference between an ellipse and parabol. The big difference is that ellipse, it's a finite object, yes, and the parabol, it's just a part of the ellipse which is infinite, with both sides goes in infinite.
and the point is, the parabola, which Shimadaji mentions, is a three-dimensional
Yes.
parabola, because when Shimadaji explained that when the addition, when there is a first movement, the first primordial vibration, God creates a drop which is called a bindu in Sanskrit, and from that drop, the energy starts turning, and when you turn a drop, you have a parabola.
Yeah.
And that Shrimataji explains that very clearly in several of our talks, and she mentioned that. And the second part, the second mistake in the book is that they changed I mean, I don't, the, the other mistake is about the deities. Basically, they say that the daughter of Mahasaraswati is Saraswati, which is wrong. And so they make several mistakes. It's not fundamental, but I think it's still a serious mistake. Thank you, Daniel.
Yes, speaking about that, the edition of Book of Adishakti is not a definitive one. Doesn't belong to one person or to one group. The truth have to be tell. So I truly believe that someone have to do the correct amendments and make it right, because those are very two important things to be let it out.
Yeah.
So
I wrote to Dan Costian about it because Dan was involved with the
edition.
let's say the making of the book, and Dan was said I was right. She
Yeah.
said you're right. We made a mistake, but well, the
He
book was
didn't have the
published,
last.
and
He
then it was
didn't
not
have the
corrected.
last word. Probably, not probably.
Yeah,
Definitely, he didn't have
yeah, yeah,
the last word.
yeah.
It's a shame that all these um, notes from Sri Mataji are not in one single place, probably. So that's another thing. Should be somehow collected, because uh, doesn't belong to anyone in particular. Belong to humanity. Don't mention the Sahaja yogis. So belong to, first of all, to the collectivity of Sahaja Yoga, but by extension to everybody. Speaking about the notes, dear Gwen, I have a small
The
question.
footnotes, you mean?
Sorry,
The footnotes,
the
probably you mentioned.
footnotes. The footnotes. Um, I have a question um, about the way how the book is edited. Actually, I have two questions, which at least for me as a reader will make my reading easily. The first one is the included of the author in the beginning. I'm very keen to know who write those stuff, the 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 quotes, the sub chapters, so one chapter have 10, 12 uh, quotes or
Book.
yes. So for me was and I'm not sure if you do it, I'm sure you have your reasons, but for me was much better if I have the name of the because those guys are not just anybody, but doesn't really matter in from that perspective. I I was feeling that is good to be there, especially on online edition. On the uh, hard copy, it's easy to go one page and to see who write that one. But online, you have to scroll down, you go back, whatever. So it will be much easy for me to have that one. And the second one is the footnote.
I have not understood I have not understood your point, Daniel. Sorry.
Um, the author of um, the author of the quote, how you call the subchapter. So you have here, yes, the first quote, the first chapter, yes, you have the chapter, and you have
Yeah,
the Atman.
yeah.
Who write the Atman? If I want to know who write this quote, I have to scroll down. It's
Yeah.
not a big deal, but for me, it was much easy to be here, the Atman, yes, and after that, Shankara, Adi Shankaracharya or Shankara, by Shankara from that book. Again, it's the way how you believe it's
Yeah,
okay.
the point, I cannot do that. I cannot do that, Daniel, because the titles have been provided by me. I made the
Yes,
titles.
yes, you make the
So
title.
the
Yeah,
text, the titles are mine,
yes, I
and
understand.
and that's why the author is at the end.
Okay. Okay. I was sure you have one reason, and I know you have the title. But again, if it will be me, I will find a way to put the author in the beginning. But it's not a biggie. It's for me. I want to know. I find myself reading and reading, and I want to know who write that. Every time when I start a chapter, you know, so here it's easy because the author is on the same page, but when the quote is, 2 pages.
Yeah, I get your point. I get your
So
point.
again, another thing also for the easiest of the reading also for me was the footnote, like here, number one, number two,
Yeah.
to be on the same page, not by.
No, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, again,
I
I
didn't want to do that, Daniel,
it's not a mistake,
because
it's
I
your way of doing. Yeah.
no. Um, the point is, I did not want to interrupt
Yeah,
the flow of the poetry
yeah.
by giving footnotes at the end. So it was done on purpose to have the footnotes at the end of each text, so
I
that
was
people do
thinking.
not fall into a kind of mental
Yeah,
analysis.
yeah.
They first emerge into the beauty of that of this text, and then they can find some explanation at the end, if ever they wish.
Yeah. Uh, no, that's in a way,
Pretty
it's a
much,
good thing.
Daniel, I think your points. I think that when you get the book, I think that this, because you had the book through internet, through
Email,
you had a PDF,
online.
and you
Yeah,
could see it on your computer. And I think when you have the book on hand, you I think these
it's
points
much
are
easier.
less will be much easier for you.
Um, in a way, this I call it a little trick, but it's not a trick. Force you from that perspective, it's a trick. Force you to read again the subchapter, the quote, because um, the human mind is curious. If you find a footnote here, you will stop anyway. So the flow will be stop and go to the next page, or in some cases are in a few other pages to go to see what it is. Even if you are Sahaja Yogi and you know what is about, you are curious. You want to know what Gwen want to tell me by that footnote. Um, but let's say you stop that desire and you read by the end all the notes. After that, you go back to read it again. So in a way, it's good because force you to go a little bit deeper in the subject. So it's not a end of uh, the world. But I find one um, time when this rule wasn't followed. Page 174. We should talk more about the essence of the book, or about 174, where you do not follow that rule and put
True.
see. No. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, you're right. You're right. Here it's a mistake.
Yeah, you should, if you follow that rule, you have to put it
Yeah,
here
you're right.
on the
You're
second,
right.
somewhere here. But again, those are, um, I'm not picky, but I've noticed them. I want them my way, I want to be my way. And I was planning to tell you off the record, but because we are now, it's good because you explain now to other people who maybe think like me what was your purpose.
No, no, but any criticism
And
is
don't take
good
it as a
to.
criticism. It's just
Oh yeah,
another way
yeah. I
of
mean,
doing.
no, 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 no. But criticism are. Shrimadaji didn't say that we should not have critical. Shrimadaji never said that we should not be critical. She said that
Uh,
do not criticize the artist. But
exactly.
of course, if you have criticized whether the footnotes are, I mean, it's. I mean, I can totally understand that one way could be better for some people and for others. I mean, I totally take
Exactly.
your point.
That's a different way of doing. And speaking about criticism, that is one of the very less understood concept, because when Shimataji talk about criticism, you have to define criticism. Criticism is a discussion where we find different way of doing things or attacking someone. So the that critic Shimataji spoke, especially in arts, are the people who are attacking the artist not doing the stuff in the way they want it. So yeah, as you say, criticism as a big concept is nothing wrong. I mean, we are talking. Do not criticize. That's something else.
Yeah, but to have a critical mind is very important. I
Yes.
mean, very important. I mean, this
Yes.
is a basic of
Um,
rationality, which is so important, so important for us to. So I get you, and I can get any. I do not. I have no problem that people tell me, "Oh, you should have done that." Anyway, it's not my. I have done just. It's an anthology, you know. I am not. I have made translations, so I am accountable for translation, but I'm not accountable for the works. So uh, I would be less. Uh, I don't think I would accept any criticism about Hazrat Ali, because Hazrat Ali for me, a book which is um, it's a creation. I wanted to make a piece of art with Hazrat Ali, so there is no critique to put. But on that book about this anthology, any improvement is very much welcome and very much welcome.
um, my reason is not, like I said, the criticism, but the way how I was uh, uh, seeing from the editorial point of view. For me, was flow much easy to follow. But and
But I take your point that this on page 174 we should have done. We should have put it at the end of the text.
yeah,
That's amazing that you saw that.
that's a small
Yeah, it's a small thing,
that's a
small
small
thing.
mistake.
But
I
when we
find
make corrections, we will change that.
Yes, please. So definitely this book, at least for me, have to be read it again, because this is like a book of knowledge, very condensed. Every chapter, every sub-chapter have his gems. You cannot say one is better than other, or make classification. So uh, I'm the one who read a lot, but I was surprised by so many things, including Ramdas, which I never read before. I have to admit that with with shame, and straight away I download two translation, including the one you mentioned there. I forget the name of the guy, John. Anyway, so I Dashbot.
Yeah, there is a very good translation.
Yes,
There is a very good English translation
probably.
of what is about Das Boot. And I had several summarized versions of Das Boot that I purchased in India a long time ago. And this one is really good. I mean, is really good.
It's good
It's
to read.
translated from Marathi, and
Mhm.
it's really good.
Probably I will follow because that's why I was looking for different translations if are available on online, and I find two, including that one, and probably I will follow this one because you know better. Uh, but bridge version I are good for the beginners, for the people who are just starting to go in deep in this those lectures. But slowly I give up about a bridge version of anything, so I go for the original. If you want
Das
to
Boot is very long. I mean, it's a
I
very
know
long book, and
I
it's a very
find it.
precious book. It's very long, very precious. Um, a bit repetitive, like Janeshvari, I think. A bit repetitive sometimes. But it was important. I will come back to the issue of this kind of repetitiveness in the in some books, uh, because as you know, I have made a translation of Janeshvari, of an
Yeah.
abridged version of Janeshvari, so I'll come back to that afterwards. When this translation is available in English, because it's already available in French.
I know. Um, uh, by the time I read your first book, La Mer et la Spirituality, I was a little bit more familiar with the French. In the meantime, I forget it. I forget my French, but luckily I find the version in English. So I was hoping that one day we can talk about those books, those books. So not one book, and even about Hazrat Ali, because this one, as you said before, I'm glad you said that have a little bit of controversy, because maybe we can try to debunk some of the controversy if you agree sometime.
Oh yeah. Whenever you want, Daniel.
Because in the end, not too many people knows about Shia and Sunni. Not too many people know about the relation with Sufi. So there are a lot of interesting stuff which can be talk about that. But now we still on your beautiful book, and I want to say something else to people who are not very familiar with those lecture and believe that Sahaja Yoga start with Sahaja Yoga, or Sahaja Yoga start only with Shrimataji's teaching in last century. So I want to tell the Sahaja Yogi who are following us, if I hope to be few of them, that uh, the teaching of Sahaja Yoga are old as the universe. So everything is there. Shimataji just us um, make them available to us. That's I want to say. Including the word Sahaja, you will find it in that book, written by some other people long time starting Sahaja Yoga in 1970. So
You see,
uh,
Daniel, if I can give a comment on that, uh, this knowledge, spiritual knowledge, that is shared by these great incarnations is, I think it can really, the point it is totally Sahaj.
Yes. Yes.
But Sahaj, I mean Sahaj, not conceptually, not Sahaj in very detail, you know. For example, when Jnaneshvara mentions that the Kundalini reaches the center heart, he says, then Jagadamba is awakened. You know,
Yeah.
it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And and Dasbod as well is amazingly Sahaj. And
Yeah.
you by with this book you could believe. I mean, if you did not know, if you did not recognize Sri Mataji as Jyoti Shakti, you
Yeah.
could believe that Sri Mataji was just taking uh, that she was a kind of disciple of Ramdas and Janeshwara, because it's totally it was the point. It was already there.
Yeah.
What makes a difference? What makes a difference with the knowledge that has been imparted to us by Sri Mataji is that Sri Mataji gave us the full picture. She gave us the practical knowledge.
Yes.
She gave us and she explained to us. So
Yes.
she gave us the clue. She gave us the keys.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if I had not been a yogi, I would never have discovered Ramdas.
Yep.
I would never have translated Jnaneshvara. I would never have known Jnaneshvara.
Yeah.
And so it's a kind of um, uh, when you read these books, it's back to the past,
Yeah.
but the past rebounds to the present with the teachings of Sri Mataji.
Absolutely.
Um, and uh, and I, Sri Mataji mentioned on several occasions that some of these texts can only be understood by Sahajogis,
Yeah. Yes.
especially Jnaneshvara. He said, you have to be a realized soul, and not only that, you have to have the knowledge of Sahaja Yoga to really fully mm, uh, uh, dive into the beauty of the poetic beauty of, for example, Jnaneshvara mentioned that the Kundalini, when she is awakened, that she abandons her golden cover, and she becomes a statue of wind. Imagine she becomes a statue of wind. Um, who can really understand that? Who can really understand that? Statue of wind. Such beautiful images, so beautiful metaphors and similes, and so great.
Yeah. Yeah. So you are perfectly right, and writing that book, we hope that will also raise a little bit of attention from non-Sahaja yogis, because the footnotes you talk a little bit before give explanations and also clues to the Sahaja yoga, which for the non-Sahaja yogi make a hook, and they can be more or less get interested in Sahaja yoga. For Sahaja yogi as well, give a little bit more understanding. So yeah. Um, Now, um, because we are talking about that, I'm not sure if I put that question to you on our previous meeting 9 months ago, but it's a quite important question for me. And I really want to know the answer from people who are definitely not only much older than me, but with more knowledge, more experience in Sahaja Yoga. Talking about this subject of ancient knowledge and Sahaja Yoga and things like that. I believe Sahaja Yoga is not very well understood even by the Sahaja Yogi. My question is, dear GWENAEL, What is Sahaja Yoga?
What is Sahaja Yoga? Uh, um, Sahaja Yoga is infinity, and you cannot grasp the 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 infinity of what Sahaja Yoga is, and Sahaja Yoga is a way of approaching the Devi. It's a way to reach. You see, uh, is Sahaja Yoga self-realization, or is Sahaja Yoga the recognition of the Adishakti? That's a big question. When I um, uh, when I was searching before I got my self-realization, I wanted to become the spirit. I wanted to get my self-realization. I wanted to get the moksha. And what I didn't know is that by getting my self-realization, I would be connected to my to my mother, to the primordial mother. This is the greatest surprise of Sahaja, the greatest gift, the greatest treasure of Sahaja, that we do not only become the self, the spirit, but we get connected to the Adishakti. Uh, and that's if I could, if I try to give an answer to a question that cannot really be answered, that would be my answer. Daniel.
Um, I'm sure you know that picture, but I want to show to the people who are watching us. Um, 36 years ago, GWENAEL in Bucharest in 1991. So I I'm very happy that you don't try to find the answer too hard, because you know how the definition in the old scriptures about these very important concepts start with a negation. So it's not that.
Yeah.
I just heard today in a Shrimataji's talk in a meditation with some overseas people in preparation for the Shri Adi Shakti Puja. Was a talk of Shrimataji, and she said, Sahaja Yoga is not a system. The first thing she said is not a system. It's something alive, which that's exactly what you said. Um, but yeah, the first answer, what is Sahaja Yoga, is probably I don't know. And after that, we can take it from there. So, um, when Gwen write this book, thanks to also his wife Doris, and I want to share these pictures with you guys. So thank you for sending me this picture of you. So um, I want to, if you want to say something else about the book, Gwen, apart from the fact that will be up in September, available on Amruta and probably on other platforms.
It will be available on Lulu,
On Lulu,
be on Amazon, you mean? Not Amruta,
not
on
Amruta.
Amazon.
Amazon, yep.
Uh, uh, and I mean, I do not get any money from that book. It goes all the benefit goes to Divine Cobris. I mean, I have none of my book give me any any I would never get any money with this book. So they go the little margin goes to the Divine Cobris for other projects and so on.
Yeah. Like I believe all the or most of the Sahaja or all the Sahaja who write a lot of books, I was sure that that's happened. So it's not about someone getting rich writing about this kind of stuff, but we have to pay for the book, obviously.
Yeah, the
Uh,
good thing is that the book is printed on demand, and that makes the management of the sell the book sell easy, because the book is printed on demand everywhere in the world. So it's printed when you order a book in America, it's printed in America. When you order a book in France, printed in France. I think in New Zealand, probably Australia, you have also a printer there. And that makes the book easily available
yeah.
worldwide.
Honolulu, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and I think it's a very good system.
Yeah. Um, So I don't want to end before I want to promise to people who are watching us, because there are a few people who are watching us. If they like our conversation and are curious about your book, I don't want to twist your hand here, but I want to ask you if you agree for a conversation about your previous books.
Yeah, sure,
Some,
Daniel. Sure.
sometimes. So this is another gem by Janeshvara. I show you again now because and finally about Hazrat Ali, where we can talk a little bit more about the Sunni and the Shia before we start talking about the book, because it's a very interesting subject. Not too many people knows that. They put them together. Everybody there is not. So yeah. Um, with that permission from you, I want to thank you very much for your time, um, and congratulate you for the beautiful book. Thank you everybody who are watching us, and let's see each other soon as possible. I don't know when. In the meantime,
Let's
yeah,
Thank you very much, Daniel. Uh, and I want to tell the audience that Daniel is a very tenacious person, because
Rottweiler.
I don't like to be recorded. I don't like to appear. I don't like my face to appear anywhere. And Daniel has been harassing me so that I would finally give up and accept to be recorded. So Daniel is a very persuasive person, and and so that's how it is.
I
Um,
hope you won't regret it.
you
I hope you won't regret it.
No, I don't regret it, because I mean, we have been knowing each other for such a long time. It's a pleasure to do these interviews with you, and well, that's it. So my face and my contribution, my personal contribution, is nothing, and I want to somehow disappear in the midst of infinity, because all that remains are the books, and that's something I am happy that I have done. I mean, I was privileged that I could do it, that I could have time to do it, and that if these incredible writings can enrich the lives of realized souls and non-realized souls, and that's the goal and the purpose will be reached. So we
That is
can
all about.
have conversations, Daniel, and as I know, I cannot escape. You know, can't escape. Bye bye, Daniel. Have a good summertime. People who are in the
Yes, you
northern
too.
hemisphere
Yeah,
have a beautiful
yeah.
winter time.
Thank you again,
In,
Gwenel. Stay a little bit on the line. I will stop the recording now. Thank you very much to everybody who watch us. And let's see each other sooner rather than later. Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji.